I want to welcome Liberty Sam to our studios, and we'll be talking about last night's debate and what the candidates should and should not have said. Hi, Sam.
Greetings, Nico.
Now that the last presidential debate is behind us, what do you think?
Well, two things stuck with me after watching the debate, and they are, firstly, Hillary was very well scripted, and she would immediately pivot back to a script. Secondly, Donald was a bit scripted, sounded even presidential in the first half hour or so, but then he shed the costume and took over.
Was that a bad thing?
Well, yes and no. It was bad because he missed so many opportunities to debunk Hillary's scripted act.
Like what?
Well, he didn't respond to Hillary's claim that Obama inherited a recession, for one.
You mean that the economy was in recession when Obama took office, but that it was architected by the Democrats to occur at the very last days of George Bush's presidency, so that he had no chance to avoid it?
Exactly, and I feel the Republicans should have hammered on that aspect throughout President Obama's terms in office. But they were too scared to touch him.
Yeah, Republicans decided not to oppose Obama at all, giving him a blank check to do whatever he wanted.
Okay.
But we're getting off the point here. What else should Trump have said?
There was the abortion issue. He was the first Republican to take that issue head on, and he did rattle Hillary.
What else should he have said?
What Donald Trump should have responded with, in addition to his very effective and necessary response about late-term abortion, is that only 1% of abortions are for rape and incest. 6% performed because of the health of the mother, while 93% of abortions were performed for the sake of convenience.
For convenience? And with modern medicine, that's almost
Yes.
no medical condition that cannot be resolved without having to kill the baby.
Exactly, and besides that, there are no clear standards what a threat to the mother's health means. It could be just discomfort, financial or other emotional issues. And if the doctor and the family agree that the baby should be killed, its body parts become a resellable commodity.
And in spite of that wide criterion base, they could only muster 6% of all abortions?
Yes, because the objective is not to limit the abortions for the 1% or the 6%, but have a free choice scenario called
this conversation is off track from the debate and it went on to abortion, but it is important. So I would like to ask just one more question and we can talk about the debate again later.
Shoot.
In the case of rape or incest, would you agree that it poses a reasonable condition to abort the baby that resulted from a brutal and vicious rape that left the woman scarred for life? Would you advocate that she carries that child full term on top
Nico,
of her
this is
ordeal?
perhaps the most difficult point to address because we can never claim to understand or comprehend what the raped woman is going through. Now, having said that, I want to ask whether, out of the three people involved, the rapist, the victim, and the baby, why would it be okay to execute the baby? And I ask this question not to provoke anyone, but on the face of it, it just doesn't seem as if we are punishing the right person. And I don't have an answer to that question. What we rather need to ask is, why are we not talking about the 93% of abortions that occur for the sake of convenience? Let's solve that, and then we can work on the solution to the 1%.
Sam, unfortunately, we're out of time. We'll talk about this later. Many thanks for coming.
Anytime,
on the
Nico.
show.
It's not as if I had a choice, you know.
That's true.